At a quiet little diner resting on the outskirts of Brookhaven, a weary waitress struggles to scrape together enough to get by. Long, grueling shifts stretch into the early hours, and the small, inconsistent tips do little to lighten her financial burdens. Her dreams? Once vibrant and full of hope, they now sit buried beneath a growing pile of overdue bills. She had once envisioned herself owning a bakery, filling the air with the scent of fresh bread and pastries, but that dream feels like a distant memory, slipping further away with each exhausting shift. But on this particular night, something different happens, something that feels almost surreal. A mysterious woman, dressed in an impeccably tailored suit, walks in and quietly leaves behind a crumpled $1 bill. At first glance, it seems like nothing more than an overlooked tip, but as the waitress unfolds it, her eyes land on a message scribbled across the worn surface. She hesitates. Skepticism grips her, but deep inside, a tiny flicker of curiosity and hope refuses to be extinguished. With a deep breath, she dials the number written on the note, completely unaware that this one small action is about to unlock a door to a life she never imagined possible. Outside, the neon sign above Willow Street Diner hums softly, its flickering red glow casting a faint, eerie shimmer onto the cracked pavement below. The air is thick, heavy with the unmistakable sense of city life. The heated asphalt, the pungent traces of gasoline, and the distant aroma of fried food drifting lazily from a street vendor's cart all meld together in an oddly familiar blend. Inside, the atmosphere is even denser. The scent of stale coffee, greasy food, and the lingering traces of cigarette smoke cling stubbornly to the walls, the furniture, and even the clothes of the few remaining customers. It's late, and the usual night crowd has dwindled down to a handful of weary souls nursing their final cups of coffee before heading back out into the darkness. Aaliyah Brooks moves methodically, wiping down the worn countertop with slow, deliberate strokes. Every muscle in her body protests. Her feet throb inside her overworked sneakers, her lower back aches from hours of standing, but none of this is new. Fatigue is an old companion, one she has learned to endure. This is just another night, another endless shift beneath the harsh fluorescent lights that buzz like an unrelenting headache. The old jukebox in the corner sits untouched, coated in a thin layer of dust, a silent relic of better days. She glances up at the clock hanging above the kitchen window, 12:43 a.m. Almost there. Just a little longer, she tells herself. Then, the soft chime of the bell above the entrance disrupts the quiet rhythm of the near-empty diner. At first, she doesn't think much of it. Probably just another trucker looking for a quick meal before hitting the road, or maybe one of the regulars stopping in for their usual late-night fix. But the moment she lifts her eyes, she feels it, an unexplainable shift in the air. The woman who steps through the door is nothing like the diner's usual patrons. Tall, poised, and effortlessly elegant, she moves with an air of quiet authority, an unspoken presence that doesn't demand attention, but commands it regardless. A sleek black suit, tailored to perfection, hugs her slender frame. The fabric catches the dim light in a way that whispers of wealth, luxury, something far too extravagant for a place like this. A delicate diamond bracelet glints against her wrist as she adjusts the leather handbag perched on her shoulder. Her hair, a stunning cascade of silver-streaked curls, is pulled back into a neat, low bun, accentuating her sharp cheekbones and the unwavering intensity of her deep-set eyes. Aaliyah has seen wealth before. Brookhaven is a city of contrasts, where towering skyscrapers loom over struggling neighborhoods like hers, a constant reminder of the divide between the rich and those who serve them. But this woman? She isn't just rich. She carries something else entirely. Power. Influence. A presence that feels both mesmerizing and unsettling. For a brief moment, Aaliyah hesitates, gripping the damp cloth in her hands before snapping herself back into action. She tucks the rag into her apron pocket, grabs her notepad, and forces her feet to move toward the table. "Good evening, ma'am. What can I get started for you?" she asks, keeping her voice even, professional. The woman barely acknowledges her at first. She flips open the menu with a slow, deliberate motion, scanning the pages with an unreadable expression. Then, she speaks, her voice smooth, calm, measured. Grilled cheese and water. That's it. No substitutions, no sides, no frills. A meal so simple, so unexpectedly modest, that it almost feels out of place coming from a woman who looks like she dines at five-star establishments where the portions are tiny and the price tags are outrageous. Aaliyah jots it down quickly. Coming right up, she says, turning toward the kitchen. But as she walks away, she can't help but steal another glance at the woman. She sits perfectly still, back straight, hands resting lightly on the table. No phone. No impatient tapping of fingers. Just waiting.
Calm.
Almost too calm. It unsettles Aaliyah in a way she can't quite put into words. But there's no time to dwell on it. She has a job to do. The grilled cheese takes less than 5 minutes to make, golden brown, buttery bread with perfectly melted cheese oozing between the slices. Simple. Familiar. The kind of comfort food that belongs in a place like this. Carefully plating it alongside a glass of water, Aaliyah carries it over to the woman's table and sets it down gently. "Enjoy," she says, offering a polite nod. The woman doesn't react. No acknowledgement, no polite "thank you." She simply picks up the sandwich and takes a small, deliberate bite. And just like that, the night takes a turn Aaliyah never could have seen coming.